That's what Elvis sounded like this morning. And how I sing. Go. Go. Ooh. Go. All right.
What?
The computer talking back to you.
No, that's right. You look opposite in here, right?
Yes, correct.
So your name is backwards, but
Yep.
when they get their screen, they see it right.
Correct. Yeah.
That always messes with my
Same.
head.
Same here.
When you're done there, do you want to stand by the screen so we
Sure.
and tell me if this is what you need?
Oh yeah, this one's pretty. Yeah, that's I can see it already.
Okay.
That's perfect. We're just going to be dealing with colors today.
All right. Oh, color theory? Cool.
Some type of theory. I'm not the color guy. Well,
I
didn't add an ED to that. All right.
Sorry, I got that kind of sense of
pretty good.
humor.
I'm going to tell that one when I get home.
Okay. I'll
We're
just
just
do.
about there. Hi, everybody. Hi. Come sit down wherever you please. I see 3 spots here. I see 2 more right there.
You don't get to see my picture. It's up there. Good morning, all.
Morning, Tom.
Mev, can you turn on your camera? Oh, I see you're still trying to connect.
Is this the group? Is this the whole group for a person?
That looks right.
Oh, okay.
We're missing 2 right here, aren't we?
I don't know. I had a list that showed 10.
Yeah, we're missing 2 are sitting here.
Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Well, while we wait for them.
And I have 5 participants here online.
Cool. Elsa here? Elsa. What's that? Did I say that right? Okay. I'm boring old life. Allison? Allison way over yonder. Go. Charlie? Right here. There you go. Whoa. Liana? Anyone? Okay. Isabel? Isabel's one of them. One of those.
Melina, can you turn your camera on, please? Thank you. I can't see you.
Go. Julia?
I need to move this.
there we go. Thank you.
Fight over it.
Yeah, that's better.
Did you take that? Did you win?
Okay.
Fight over the bag.
I have 5 here.
Okay.
Is that right?
Asking me too many questions.
I'm missing 2. I'm missing Bentley and that the girl that had the long curly hair. I don't remember her name.
Here in the top one.
Oh, here we go. Let's see what this says. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, I've got 2 joining right now.
Oh yeah, there's
Hit the box. and
the
that's gonna-
box.
Mama,
Okay, I have 7 students for you.
Okay. We'll
Good morning, everybody.
give it another couple minutes.
Can everybody hear okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Candace and Aaron, could you please turn on your cameras? Thank you. Aaron's still having trouble connecting.
Ah,
Oh, we've got another one. Oh, Sherry. I know who that is.
got too many sheets of paper. What is happening?
Max and Eva, could you turn your camera on, please?
How does this?
Yeah, you have 2 extras right now. Or 7, 8, no, just 1 extra.
Okay, we'll wait a couple more minutes for the last 2. If you want, you can start sketching things just to kind of warm up. And, I'll probably repeat this multiple times, but I'm Mike. 3 weeks, 3 different people, huh? But I'll be sticking with it now for the rest of the go ahead. Everyone,
Yeah, you're only missing 2 from last. No, I think Pippa's. Yeah, okay, you have her, so you're only missing Bentley.
has everyone had a chance to ink their Katina dolls with the Sharpies?
Yeah.
No. Yes. No. If you haven't, you can get started on that. That's okay. I would say you can use the thin Sharpie if you want to use a combination of thick and thin. Do we all have 2 Sharpies? Or do we just have thin?
we have six.
Do we have thick? Some have thick and thin.
Okay, you're ready to go.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have about 2 more minutes. And we'll let her buck. Okay, perfect. Well, that is great. There we go. Hi. So you must be Isabel and Liana? Iliana. Yeah, that looks like 2 L's. Iliana. Cool. Well, this is just great. Everyone. So again, we'll get the introductions out of the way. Continue to ink your Katina dolls if you have to do that. It'd be a good idea to do some sketching just to warm up. And I'll be real quick about this. So I am Mike. And again, I'm here for the rest of the duration, so there won't be, hopefully, any more changes.
Evelyn, you have a question?
How come my paintbrush keeps letting out hair?
The bristles are falling out.
Yeah, a lot.
That's a good question. I have no idea. What I would recommend, I would rinse your brush in water. And then with the paper towel, just kind of pull those excess hairs right out of there.
Okay.
And don't pull too hard. You don't want to yank them all out, but just get the loose ones out and do the best you can. That's all I can recommend. It's A-OK. So again, I'm Mike. Let's see. For this group here, in person.
Pippa has a question too.
Oh, another question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why is mine so like it's like stuck? All the bristles are like stuck together.
The bristles are stuck together. Sometimes when they're new, they tend to do that. Do they feel like they're glued together or just they're one big shape?
It's like they're little chunks of the bristles.
I would do the same thing. I would rinse that in water. I would take your thumb and forefinger and kind of, oops, I just broke my brush. So don't break your brush. Don't break your brush. It's first day. Just got off the bus.
Sometimes when my other ones were new, I always like just brush them on my hand like this, but I was trying and it just didn't work, like weirdly.
Oh, Evelyn's brush broke.
Your brush broke too. I just told you not to break your brush. So you can put that back together and just give it a little push and twist. That happens. All right. So we have another question.
Can I have some water?
Yes, I'll get you some water in a little bit. Are you thirsty?
No.
Oh, I thought you were thirsty. I got worried. Maybe you were dehydrated. It happened. It rained last night, so I hope you got enough water.
I can pass them out while you're talking.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah. Normally, I don't pass out water right away because adults and young students tend to get a little excited. Because we are going to talk about colors really quick. Then I'll learn about you as we go. Does everyone know about the primary colors? Yes, here, kind of, sort of. Okay. Primary colors. Let's see. Name one. Oh, I wrote them.
Red.
Red. Okay.
Yellow. Blue.
Blue. What's the last one?
Yellow.
Okay, yellow. This group is very loud on the TV screen. Good. So primary colors are the basis for all other colors. They cannot be made. You can't mix two colors to make a primary blue. You can't mix two colors to make a red. But you can mix colors together for secondary. Okay? So secondary colors are green. How do you make green?
Red, yellow, and blue.
Okay, shout it out here. Did you hear that? Yellow and blue. How do you make purple?
Red and blue.
Let it out. Don't be afraid, okay?
Red and blue.
How do you make orange?
Red
and
yellow.
Yellow and red and yellow. Perfect. Okay? So that's that.
And then and then some things you have to have white for, like pink.
Right.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother can of worms. We're not going to get into that today. But we will get into complementary colors. We all know what complementary colors are. Yeah. Complementary colors. Exactly. Well, yes. So the complementary are the opposite on the color wheel. Okay, so just like you said, red and green. Okay, think of Christmas colors, right? They look pretty nice together. They're pleasing to the eye. Okay, so if you go to red, jump across the wheel to green. Okay, so now I know it's hard to see. If I had yellow, my complementary color would be purple. And if I chose blue, my complementary color would be orange. Okay, and now when you mix those together, that's when they kind of cancel each other out. Okay, if you stick with painting and you get really good at it, a way to make shadows in paintings is to mix a little bit of the complementary color with whatever colors you're using. It's a little more intense than that and a little more difficult, but the basics are there. So primary colors, red, yellow, blue. Secondary, green, orange, purple. So basically you're mixing primaries together. And then the complementary colors are what are opposite of each other on the color wheel. Okay. So with those three primary colors, the red, yellow, blue, you can make anything you want. Any type of color. You can see on it's hard to tell with this little color wheel that someone made. But if you go from yellow to blue, it goes from yellow, like a yellow green, and you're a green, you get like an aqua color, a greenish blue, into blue, and as you go around, it just changes. Now this, I couldn't find our giant poster. This is mine from home. It's kind of a cheater's color wheel, hard to see on screen. But when you rotate, I'll do this side. When you rotate, it kind of tells you what happened. Okay, so if I started with blue, and let's see. I started with blue, it says by adding white, it comes out with that lighter color. I'll just show everyone here. Can you see that? But now if I rotate this, and if I add black to the purple, I'm sorry, I was jumping all around. It just darkens it. So, very interesting. This is just a cheat. If you add white, spin it around and add black.
There's one here.
That's just for
No, we're in the drawing.
So we're gonna do today.
Or in the painting thing.
We're going to paint with watercolor. You have a mini spinner like this?
Yeah.
Cool. Simple but effective. So today we're going to work with watercolors. I have stuff up here. I think first we should start out with a practice sheet. Tom, could you please hand this out?
Yes.
And if you have a sketchbook with you, you can use an open page on that. If you have just a sheet of paper, you can use that as well. I just have a sheet of paper, and we have some scraps that Tom is handing out in person here.
You can use the thing that my watercolors were wrapped in.
Yep, that'll work too. I'm going to borrow your water. Now you can start by taking just a little bit of water on your brush. You don't have to get it soaking wet. And just pick a spot on your paper and put plain water right there. We're preparing the paper to take the watercolor, just a little bit.
You have to do this with the page with the Conchita doll.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yeah. Okay.
You have to do this to the page with the Kachina doll on it too?
Could you repeat that, please, Evelyn?
Do you have to do this to the page with the Kachina doll on it too?
We don't have to do it on the Kachina doll. I don't want the paper to get too wrinkly. So what you're going to want to do from there, get your brush wet, and I would start with a primary color, red, yellow, or blue. And either in the lid of your paints, or if you have a palette like we have on site, put some water on your brush, put it in an empty cup on the palette, or again, the lid. Grab some color, one of the primaries.
Please.
I'm going to start with yellow. And you'll mix some in your area. So you end up with a puddle of pretty strong color. A little bit goes a long way. Yeah, I have a small puddle there. small puddle. Yep, just like that. Okay, then you can practice brushing it on your paper. Just to get a feel for how the watercolors work. Is your hand a little dirty? Okay. And if you have paints that are mixed together, you can take a paper towel and you can clean out that nastiness. And while your paper is drying, you can clean your brush. You can do the same thing, but with the complementary color. So I chose yellow. So my complementary would be purple. Okay. If you chose red, your complementary would be green. If you chose blue, your complementary would be orange. So try doing that. See what happens. Yellow. Purple. I just said it. Yes.
I don't really get it.
Oh, here, I'll help you. Let's see. Grab some of that. You can get a good. There you go. A little bit goes a long way.
Where do I put the complementary color?
I would put it right next to your first color. Thinking the colors? Oh, there. Want to start with blue?
What would my complementary color be if I chose blue?
It would be orange.
Okay.
It's the color that's straight across from it on the color wheel.
Okay.
Blue. It's might get more water. That. Water. Okay.
I don't choose for it to whoa.
And once you try those things out, you can try making secondary colors. Again, yellow and blue make. Ooh, quiet crowd.
Yellow,
Green.
blue, make green.
Oh, yellow and blue is green.
Yellow and blue is green.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah.
Mm.
Red and yellow,
Make orange.
orange. Thank you. And then red and blue,
Purple.
purple and purple. All right. Cool.
Before I start, if I have a palette, I put 2 drops of water in the palette beforehand so it doesn't just be just a flat paint.
Perfect. So just experiment. Yes. You can't get anything out of that? Oh, there's lots of it. A little bit goes along, but I can't. All this light green here.
Yeah, whatever.
You're welcome. Yeah, a little bit of this paint goes a long way. I still, to this day, I use a junky old Crayola paint set that looks just like this that I got in 3rd grade. Okay, and I'm 37, so that's been there quite a while. A little bit goes a long way. I got really close.
Could everybody there on Zoom show me what you got so far, please?
And if you
Okay.
want to, sorry, if you want to experiment
Very good, thank you.
painting a design, you can do that as well. You don't have to just do the line. Okay.
Thank you, Wesley, very nice.
This is just for, oh,
That's good, Pippa.
This is just for experimentation to get comfortable with the materials so we don't go and paint on our Kachina doll without any warm-ups. I think of art kind of like sports or running a mile. You don't
Daddy, I
wake
need
up
your
and
help.
just
I
go
need to
run
plug it in, but I don't have a cord long enough.
miles. Warm up first.
Then I want some blue. I want some.
Or you can paint. Oh, I'm gonna. You can paint blue right on top. Swap it out. So I would say make a little cup of blue like that, and then paint over that and make a nice purple. Yes. So if you want to try it, do it. Make a cup of green. Just paint it right next to the red. If you want to make purple, make a small amount of blue and paint it right onto the red. Okay? So for the longest time, I would use pre-mixed paints and pre-mixed colors. But then I realized how much you can do with the primaries. It tests you a little more. It makes you think. If you don't have it right at hand, you can get a lot more creative too if you have to make your color. And with the primaries, you can make any color you want.
You can't make pink.
You can't make pink? Tough crowd.
Because white isn't a primary color, that's why.
Tough crowd.
White and black are a totally different color group. And
Yeah,
brown and gray.
Yeah, there isn't any white on my set, so I can't make it.
Yeah, when it comes to watercolors, they're different from acrylic, to where you have whites and black. Well, you have black here, but the white, more often than not, with watercolor paint, is the paper showing through. Okay, so watercolors, you have to think a little bit different if you want highlights and lighter colors. But you can make a pink with red if you thin it out a lot.
Yeah. And white isn't technically a color, so basically,
Yes, it is.
technically, white is a
White
shade.
is every color, and black is the absence of light. So, yep.
And
Well-
and I have white and pink and purple on my palette.
Oh. Well, that must be a fancy palette then.
Maybe.
I like the sound of that. Now, one thing that happens with a lot of younger and older students, they get a little bit excited when it comes to watercolors. The next thing you know, their paper looks like mud. So be very careful when you're adding colors and adding water so they don't all just mix together and just look like a big pile of mud.
And I have really light teal and dark blue. So I have light blue and dark blue on mine. And light green and dark green.
how are things coming over here? That's all? Help.
That looks pretty good, Pippa.
Good purple.
Good work.
Cool.
I have a lot of
I,
colors in my palette.
Okay, can you show us your palette?
Hmm I got a little orange on my white accidentally. But
Okay, nice palette.
What do you think?
this white that's actually white, but I got orange on it.
You can wipe it out with some Kleenex.
And I also have a black.
Okay, very
So
nice.
I've got a lot of colors.
Yes, what's up? Maybe there was a little paint in here. I would just rinse off your brush really well and then do it again.
Why don't palettes just have only the primary colors and white and black and brown?
Because they leave that up to the artist to be creative and work with the colors that come in the palettes. And so you have a choice whether to work with the primaries or the secondaries or the extra colors that you get.
Cool.
What he said.
Don't want to jump on that.
No, that's perfect. That's better than perfect. You want to do a little more practicing? You're still. You got
When
a
are we
lot
gonna
of-
start painting the Kachina doll?
That looks really cool.
When do you get to start painting a Kachina doll?
Once you practice with your paper, your randoms, if you want to do a little more, rather than just patterns and designs, you can get a little more detailed. If you want to start on your Kachina doll, you can do that as well.
How do we know what colors to put in what places?
Well, you know the primary colors. Can we see this right here? That's maybe visible. All that Jess and I used were primary colors. Okay. On the headdress, I see a red, yellow, and blue. The main part of the mask is blue. The body and I call these ears. I know they're not ears, but they look like giant ears.
They look like monkey ears.
Monkey ears, yeah. That's a secondary color. Orange is, how do you make orange? Let it
Made
out.
a cool.
1, 2, 3, go. All right, okay.
I made a cool yellow green.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, we had a good recommendation. These are headphones. Maybe he's listening to some, I don't know, the Little River
There's
Band.
music.
The Little River Band. Yep, good band. Maybe some Austin Healy, named after a car. Same with REO Speedway.
Yeah.
Either one?
Okay.
Okay. So some more experimenting, just some randoms. Let's see, there we go. So just using shapes and lines and colors.
That was very beautiful.
This is a who?
It's Amy Mark.
From Little Women, the storybook? Well, it's a book that has a story in it, isn't it? They made like 3 movies. Yep, the one in the 90s is my favorite.
In my Kachina doll, I have super tiny lines. How does the color not bleed out of the lines? How do I make it not do that?
Well, you have to be very careful. That's my best recommendation. A lot of artists, both young and old, they're afraid to attempt watercolor just because of that. Very hard to control. You can do it. You just have to pay attention to the amount of water you use, the amount of paint on your brush. And the cool thing with watercolor painting, even when it's dry,
Good job, Wesley. Good job.
even when it's dry, you can, what they call lifting the color off of the paper. Okay? So if your watercolor is dry in an area you don't like, you can remove some of it just by using a clean brush, getting your paper damp, and using a rag or a Kleenex to kind of dab it up. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I do. I make splotch paintings instead, so I don't be afraid of that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, perfect.
And I put tape around the outside so it's a nice border.
Very good idea.
Yeah.
Thanks. And then sometimes you can salt it, wait a few minutes, and then just use a paper towel and dry it off. Because I pat it to dry it.
But in my
And
other
then you
class,
Well, it's still wet, you can sprinkle salt on it, and then after a few minutes, pat it dry, and it makes some really cool craters in it.
Oh, yeah. It puts nice texture on it when you use salt.
Re-stretching, airing out your pit. I don't know, maybe you worked out before you got here. That's really cool. So now, did you add that after that red was dry? That looks really neat. Is this another character?
Yes.
Did the new movie come out already?
Yeah.
Is it good? I remember watching the old one in school, and it was really good. Now, let me see yours for a minute.
What was it?
Now, another thing you can do, you can let your practice papers dry. You can add new layers. It's hard to see, but up close. Ooh, ooh, it's haunted. No, up close you can see she added some green. Now, if that orange background would have been wet when she added the green, there's a chance that would have turned kind of muddy. Two complementary colors mixed together oftentimes makes nasty mud. So just experiment. Thank you. Watercolors are transparent. You build up layers to make them more solid. Yes.
Is this Dad's bag?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I would use that. Puts a little more. So now be careful on the paper. Again, if you start adding too much water, it'll wrinkle and get all nasty. So, little at a time. And don't be afraid to change your water out. If anyone,
Sometimes if my color is too transparent, I just take some color from my palette and add it to it so it makes it more thick, and then I can start painting. Because my orange turned into a peach.
A little off there. I need paper towel.
Put your brush on it and it'll suck it up.
Excuse me.
oh, yeah, there you go.
And then you can dab it off again. There you go. Cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's paper towels out here.
Oh, gosh.
Wait, no, I didn't say no. That's fine. That's what I asked. I just like how you did that. That looks really cool.
What are we gonna do next week?
It's such a weirdo there.
I don't have that in front of me. Jess and I came up with a plan, but I didn't memorize it. Not one for memorizing. Very cool. Very, very cool. So if you want to start on that in a little bit, yeah.
Alrighty.
Another thing I do, like, we have a really bumpy, like, paper towel that has a bunch of bumps on it. And, like, when I get too much, I just dab it on my color, the bumpy paper towel, and it really leaves a cool texture.
Yes. Texture is good.
Hey, real quick, would you mind looking at mine?
Okay,
Are you ready to?
Okay.
show it, there you go. Oh,
I
okay.
saw that you guys were saying
Practice a
that I
little?
could do patterns.
Yeah.
So I did like a Anoka, like, because when I started the red, I
Yep.
noticed that it kind of looked like blood. And so I did like a green Anoka Halloween capital of the world.
Oh, cool.
Is that
Yeah, very nice.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Be very careful.
My Sharpie is starting to bleed for some reason with the water.
The Sharpie has to be 100% dry and it shouldn't bleed.
I inked it a week ago.
It could be the type of paper. I'm not exactly sure, but that should be permanent, the Sharpie.
Okay.
So I would recommend maybe holding back on the amount of water that you use. Just try to be careful with it.
Okay.
In a couple minutes. Okay. Oh my. Is that a cake? Donut, even better. Oh, that's frosting. We can use sprinkles.
This is really hard with all the little details.
Sprinkles, like they're raining down on it. That would be cool. That would be very. Ooh, I love the color. Yeah. Yes, you can. Use up your right. It happens. Happens to the best of us. Boy, I like that. Now be careful when you're doing that, even with this nice thick paper. If you rub it too much, it'll still peel. You get little fuzzies all around. You'll be fine, but some people do it way too much. Oh, yeah, you'll be fine. Oh, it's like a ninja. Paper towel. I like that dark color. Really cool.
Is the bottom part of the kind of like rainbow blue or purple? I think it's purple.
Does anyone in this group, does anyone need fresh water? No, not yet. Yes, back here.
Yes.
Okay, we got one here. Now, I've noticed this a little, so be very careful. I'll use you. So, be very careful at home or here. If you're not using your brush, rinse it off and then just take it out of the water. Okay? A lot of times what happens when these brushes soak in water, the metal part is called a ferrule. Okay? It's just squished on by a big machine. What happens, the water will soak up into the wood that's behind the ferrule. And we know when wood gets wet, it expands. It gets fat. It'll dry out, it'll shrink. It soaks water, gets fat, shrink, fat, shrink, fat, shrink. Eventually, they break, and then we're out of a brush. You're out of a brush at home. So just be careful with that. Try to just rinse off your brush. That's okay. And then take it out of the water.
One of the brushes I have is all plastic.
Well, la-ti-da. Can I see this fancy plastic brush? Well, that's cool. Neat.
I think
Huh.
these are plastic.
Those are wood.
Did the ones that is this a wood one?
Yes.
Yes,
Fine.
what he said. Okay, I got majorly distracted. Who needs fresh water? I know one in the corner. One, okay. I'm going to do this a different way. I got to take a bath, so I need water. I'm going to walk around and we'll dump this into my bathtub bucket. Perfect, okay? And I'll be back to collect the empty cups and refill. Okay?
Are you gonna rinse them or refill them?
I'll just rinse and refill.
I can
That's
start
up, it's up to you, you don't have to. Nice. Thank you, Doc. Okay. Good one. Okay? I wanted to drink that. Not looking at me. And I'm looking at this again. Set this here. After you.
So how's everybody doing? Can I see your artwork, please?
That looks like it's pretty hard to do.
Okay, we're working on the doll. Very good. Very nice. Very nice. Nice,
Ah, yeah, I can
Candace.
block it for you.
Max and Eva, how you doing?
I'll be right back.
All right.
Right back. Oh, that looks really cool.
Wesley, you okay? I didn't. Okay, nice. Very good. Nice and colorful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Evelyn. Very nice.
Mama, once my class is over, can you prepare lunch, Mama?
There. There. There.
Are we supposed to draw the thing on the machine?
me see what you got. Yes. Yeah, because these are supposed to be like little ties for his boots.
After I finish, should I ink it again? Because some of the Sharpie's kind of not able to see.
Yes, you can go over it again with ink. Just make sure that your watercolor part is dry so that the ink and water don't mix. Okay?
Okay.
How you doing, Pippa? Okay, very nice.
Good, good, good. Cool, yeah. Purple. So we can make purple with red and blue. Okay. First, fancy red. Got that red. Continue red.
People and I'm in a
That's the
state.
second one.
I'm trying to get it so it doesn't
That's
burn
pretty cool.
out. Let's see. Yeah, this came back from Jason pretty like new people.
So,
That was nice. Now I want this
there we go.
sleeping stairways.
And I'll rinse my brush. I want to try to keep this clean. Red. There's red here. We go.
Not much.
That already looks clean. You don't have to mix it all together. Just use what you need to make the color.
There.
Uh-oh. I dipped my brush in water and I left the head of the brush in the water.
Purple. Want a little bit more blue? Let me test it out.
Evelyn, when your brush and everything gets real dry, maybe you could put some super glue inside of there and reattach it.
Take what you need in your brush. Take the other color in your brush. Put them next to each other, just like we did, and then just slowly mix them to get what you need. A lot of people, they'll take a big clump of paint, and they'll take their other color. A little at a time. I like that purple.
All right, Pippa, are you done?
What?
Are you done with your painting?
No, not yet. I'm still
Okay.
painting.
I'm waiting. I love that. What color for you?
Is it Chanda? How are you doing?
Love mine. Really fly down to Mexico?
I'm doing good, but that's my mom's name, so my name is Marin.
Okay. You doing okay? Can we take a peek?
Sure. Kind of did my
Okay.
own thing.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Thank you.
You know the big brown fuzzy caterpillars? Yeah, if you see a lot of those in the fall, they usually, I'll tell everyone. Okay, the big fuzzy brown caterpillars, the brown and black ones, if you see a lot of those in the fall, walking around in the grass on the road.
Those are called woolly bears. We saw one yesterday.
Okay.
I saw
That
3
usually
yesterday.
means there's going to be a snowy winter, cold and snowy. Some farmers, you know. Yeah.
Actually, I think we read. I saw 3 yesterday.
I hope there's not a cold and snowy winter. I hope it's a snowy winter, just not a cold winter.
Never looked that deep.
I saw 3 yesterday.
3 of
I
them.
saw one.
That's a lot.
I saw one. It had something sticking to its behind.
Uh-oh.
Well, after
And-
living
Maybe he was carrying his own heater.
Ooh, I love those.
That's weird.
I'll show you.
I don't think caterpillars can.
So, no, there's no rule saying every time you have to do watercolor.
That probably means it has a disease.
That could be true.
I'm just gonna do it. I'll do it right.
Olivia, how are you doing?
I raised monarch caterpillars, and if it has something stuck to there, it usually means that it has a disease.
Okay, that's nice. Good to know.
What do you do if it has a disease?
You just leave it alone.
Or put it
Or you just put it back in the wild if it has a disease, because it'll spread, and you don't want it to spread to the other caterpillars.
Yeah, yeah. I love this graph. Cool. Really good. Ooh, I like that. Cool. Hold on one second.
No! Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Olivia, are you finished with your painting or moving along? Okay, you're almost there. Good job.
So now, once you get to a point where you're done painting your figure, okay, we can do some of the background. Well, we'll do all of the background. So, this is a rainbow kachina. So we have a rainbow background. Uh-oh, it's that haunted piece of paper again. Woo! Anyway, so we have an idea, well, we already had an idea of primary and secondary colors. So what we did for this background, we lightly got our background paper wet, okay? Then we used a light wash of blue, okay? That means you make the blue on your cover or in the palette. Take your blue. Let it dry. In the top area, we did red, okay? That kind of makes a reddish purple. And on the bottom area, we did yellow. So that makes a yellowish green, okay? So that's something to think about for your background. You can do something different, but this is, again, a rainbow Tina doll. But it's totally up to you. I'll leave that open-ended. That's fine. But please, please, please avoid making mud, okay? Don't just forget self-control and just every color in the world, okay? A little bit at a time. We did our background in 3 steps. Blue across the whole background, reds on top, yellows on bottom. That makes your red, purple, green, and yellow, okay? So, we did really light, like, ooh, that looks cool. Love it. Good. They're awesome.
Yes, Mom.
We did the whole background with blue, and then we just added some red. We added some yellow.
Oh,
Just like
very nice. A lot of detail in the colors there. That's really good. Did inking it again work well?
So cool.
I didn't ink it again. I haven't done that yet. It hasn't
Okay.
dried.
Alrighty. Wait, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, like Tom had said, you definitely can re-ink your drawing, but wait until everything is completely done, everything is dry. If you want, before you start a sip. friend. Really light. If you want. You don't have to. I'll load up your brush. The harder you press, the bigger the dot. That's all you. I'll take the brush.
Perfect.
Something going over. Alright.
Then add a little of this. I see pink. Then add white on it. And pink. Then I'm going to use this lighter blue for his face. I think that's his face, or is that like a mask or something?
Yes.
What are the ear thingies supposed to be?
It's part of the helmet, the headdress that he's wearing, or that the character has on. It's just a design element.
It's weird.
Does anyone know the X-Men Wolverine?
Yeah.
Weird helmet. It's got weird shapes. It's just a design thing. Can I see these paintings, please, from the virtual class? Cool. Oh yeah, these are all really good. Awesome, awesome work. And no, I don't have to just say that.
I found that 2 coats of the like the darker or like the more regular blue. Like I have more of a blue green and then a regular blue. I found that 2 coats of the regular blue makes it more blue and less
Yes.
purple.
So remember, 1 second here. Remember we talked about how watercolor paints are transparent. So yeah, the more layers you add, the darker they'll get and the more vibrant you get. But be careful to only add layers like that when the paper is dry. I would say, but or when you get that, if you want to bring this over to the edge, just a little bit more. If you have to.
I found that controlling the colors are really easy for me.
I'll go with it. Okay? Yes, I'll grab you. Scrap. There we go. You're welcome. And it's not a race. There's no finish line saying you have to be done at this time or you have to whatever. Here's strange noise.
Yeah, on it. Okay.
I feel like Chris Farley, Tommy Boy. When he's in the factory, in the crane, the hooks are coming.
Hooks are, yeah, the little.
Yeah, and that. Yeah. This looks really cool. What color are you gonna do the mask? Any thoughts on that?
The problem is that I only do really dark.
I'm gonna get you a different set. I actually prefer these sets compared to the red ones.
Is a
But they've been
Kachina
around
doll
quite a
supposed to
while.
represent a person or like a god?
Is the Kachina doll supposed to represent a person or like a god?
The god of rainbows or
They represent good intentions.
Yeah, like this one, I heard it represents peace and harmony.
Correct. Yep. There's over 250 different styles of Kachina dolls.
Do you get all of them in your lifetime if you live there?
No, I don't think that's how it works. I'm no expert. I wish I was. It's very, very cool stuff.
For our homework last week, we were supposed to research a Kachina doll, and I chose the Sun Kachina doll.
Cool. We had a couple people who drew theirs up. Did you draw your Sun Kachina doll?
No, I didn't. But I'm going to, and I'll show it next week.
That works.
Could you please hold the Kachina doll picture up close to the camera real quick so we can see the colors better?
Sure.
Thanks.
We got the primaries and the headdress. The body and the headphones are orange. We got blue and a yellow and a red for the sash or the strap across his chest.
How come it's so lumpy?
How come it's so lumpy? That sorry. I was just thinking maybe this guy hasn't worked out in a while. Even with the best watercolor paper, it will absorb paper and it just starts to crinkle and flex, and you're probably noticing that with your sketchbooks. It happens. It's something that happens with watercolor paint. That's all I know.
Oh, I should have put your name there, not mine. Oh, well.
You need a new paper towel?
I'll get you.
I got it. Yeah. You need a new paper towel?
Everything that is good.
I'm going to start working on the background now because I finished the foreground with my Kachina doll.
So just so I don't forget, homework-wise, you can either continue researching more Kachina dolls, or with watercolor or colored pencils, it's up to you. With just the primary colors, color a scene that you've created, or a figure or something. But restrict yourself to just the red, yellow, and blue.
Can you mix red, yellow, and blue?
So can you like mix them to make secondaries?
You can, as long as you don't use pre-mixed colors, do your best to make them yourself. Even with colored pencils, if you shade lightly, you can make secondary colors, and I'll show you right now.
Ew, it's like the worst.
Now, if you finish painting your Kachina doll and your background, you can work on another scene or another figure here. That's fine too. Yeah. We all have sketchbooks. You can flip open to another page.
What's the name?
Try to be careful. Make sure your Kachina doll is dry. You have to, you can use it. No, you can-
I find that if you just color a page with water or a small section with water, and then you just dab it once with paint, it'll spread all over and you don't really have to paint it that much. Plus it stays in the lines really nicely.
Yes, yep. Everyone has their own techniques.
Well, what I figured out is if you like if you draw something and make it dry, then you could shade it like with red or yellow.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say for you now, this is getting pretty dry. You can go over it with. So that's like a blue. We could do.
My Kachina doll is very colorful.
That's good. So, grab a small amount of blue. Mind if I do some right there? Really?
Max and Eva, where are you?
So, yep. I would do that. So here's an example of just taking your time and layering, doing a little at a time.
I can't see it very well from over
I'll be
there.
over there. So just take your
Move it a
time.
little more over to your left, Eva.
So here's an example.
Very nice, thank you. Good job.
Just a little at a time. Patient. Painting is all about patience.
Molina, how are you doing? Okay, that's coming along pretty good.
I can't see the color pencil well.
I'll bring it up. This looks pretty green to me. Same here. I started out with yellow. How's that looking, Tom?
Looks pretty good on here. You can see that it's a little bit of blue with green.
Yep, so I started out with yellow. I added a small amount of blue and came back with some more yellow, and it makes it green. So my point is, again, even if you don't use watercolor for your homework, you can use colored pencils and you can do the same thing. Sure, yeah. You want to use watercolor pencils? Have at it. Yeah.
What are those?
It's like a colored pencil that you can paint with.
Is that like the stuff you dip in water and then it'll be watercolors?
No, you don't dip them. You shade like I've been doing, and then you use a brush, like traditional paint. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
you
have
like
those.
pen, but the tip is like a brush.
I'll show you. So it's here, yellow and blue. Colored pencil just made it green. Simple stuff. Hold on 1 second. Love it. These two colors.
For my scene, can I like use like white and black?
I didn't hear you.
Yes.
For my homework,
That's what you want.
for my scene, can I use like white and black?
No, just the primary colors. Red, blue, and yellow. If you mix all three of them together carefully, you can get a black. I mean, a very dark color similar to black.
James Brown. I just
You don't think.
all right. Away. Oh. If you want.
Get like the smallest bit of brown
You
and
can use that.
put in a whole bunch of yellow. You can make a nice light brown
You don't have to. but
Yep.
Make sure this is
instead of
You can-
using white.
Yeah, you can figure out your colors with the 3 primaries and you can get just about every color.
Sure.
So,
Brown.
So I can mix yellow and blue to make green.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And then you can take green and red and get brown.
Cool.
That's a little hint for you. Somebody left me.
Ooh, lucky.
But when you do the yellow and brown, you can still see hints and traces of yellow, though, unless you mix it super well.
It's the watercolor. Basically, the way I think of it, all that color right there is the same as that. It's just in a pencil. So pretty simple. That's really good. Have you thought about adding color to that?
Hey, Mom. What's the music? Gitsy's? Aren't they gonna give us music at Gitsy's too?
How are these coming along? Can I take a look, please? Ooh, that's cool. Very good. Nice. I love it. I love the colors. Cool. Thank you. All right. So, this is coming along good. Very cool. Very, very. What color are you thinking about for the map? You sure? I found it. You can hang on to that. Thank you, though. Okay. For those of you who are feeling daring, if you're done painting your Kachina doll, you can try to create your own Kachina doll. Think of something. This is a rainbow Kachina doll.
What else could I do?
What else?
I mean, like, does it have to be detailed as this one? That took a long time, the one that I have now.
You could do about half the detail, but if you're doing it now, because we have about 5 more minutes here before we have to clean up. So you could do one, a storm Kachina doll or a sun Kachina doll, maybe something about the earth. That would be pretty neat. Any suggestions in this group?
Oh, nice, Evelyn. Nice colors.
Kachina doll ideas?
Look.
Oh. What's your idea?
It'd be dressed in season dress.
That would be cool. Or animals. If I saw your fox racing and I thought, well, why couldn't there be an animal spirit Kachina doll?
I think there is a couple.
I think there are.
Yeah, there's a wolf, bear. Yeah,
Bear,
there's a
yeah.
bear,
Buffalo.
yeah.
Eagle. That looks awesome. What I would say, I would use.
Wesley, do you want a closer look at the Kachina picture we have?
I would use blue.
Yes, please.
Sure.
The mask. And maybe for this something down here. I would use a blue. You got a lot of reds and oranges going.
How's that?
That'll make it a nice purpley blue. And I think that's really
That's great, thank you.
Yep.
That's a nice blue.
Okay.
That's on solid wood? Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
Hey, guys, we got about 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be good because here we have to clean up. Stand in front of the camera. Boy, I love it.
Anybody have any questions? Yes, Pippa? Turn on, yeah.
What are we gonna do next week?
Mike, the question is, what are they going to do next week?
We'll know next week. I don't have my list in front of me. I'm sorry.
Is that okay then? It'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise, yeah.
That'll be exciting.
Maybe we have to clean our bedrooms. So you folks are lucky.
Would everyone like to show their work, please?
I want to see things here messy and then clean.
Oh, very nice, Olivia. Thank you. Melina, that's really good.
Ooh.
Ooh. Wesley, good job. Nice colors. Good, Pippa.
I love it.
Candace, really nice. Chanda, that's nice.
So something to think about for those of you who are done with your Kachina dolls. Even though it's in a sketchbook, you should sign your name at the bottom. Okay, the bottom right is traditionally where people sign their paintings and drawings, but it's up to you.
I think that it's okay because my name is on the front of my book that I designed.
That's fine too. I like it. Yeah.
See, I designed the front cover.
Oh, nice.
That looks really good.
That's a good idea.
That looks really, really good.
And maybe I could have.
Oh, that's nice too. That's awesome.
Maybe I could have my little sister colored in.
Oh, that's a nice cover too, Pippa. Very nice. It's always nice to personalize your sketchbooks and put a date on them. So as you grow older and get up into junior high and high school, you'll remember that that was your first sketchbook or your second sketchbook.
Just like Tom said, it is a great idea to date your paintings and drawings. You don't have to marry them, just date them. But in addition to remembering when and looking back and saying, oh, okay, it's also a personal confidence booster. Because you can look at what you were painting and drawing, and you look at the date, and you'll say, oh,
That's good.
I was this old when I did
Good,
it.
Pippa.
And you can look at your current work, and you get confidence realizing how much you've grown as artists. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's kind of a 2-for-1. Okay, everyone in class here. So if you're in the middle of painting, that's fine. You can keep going. But if you're done or almost there, what we will do, we can bring our dirty water. Where did I put that back here? Oh, see, this is why you should put things back where they go. Thank you. Okay. We got this dirty bucket. Make sure your brushes are super clean. And then you can dump your water here and upside down. I apologize. I'm gonna that. Your cups can go here upside down. What in the Aztec, New Mexico? That sounds made up. I'm not even from New. I've been in New Mexico. I've never.
Maybe they're trying to tell you
They're probably trying to sell me some desert land.
or something else.
Yeah, desert land. Yeah, I don't need. If they don't leave a message, you know.
Speaking of desert land, me and my mom sometimes visit Arizona.
Oh, okay. There's places out there where people make the Kachina dolls.
Along with your brushes.
Yeah.
You can leave them open
And,
until they dry out
and
a
we
little bit.
found a city called Sedona that isn't really deserty at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have a lot of art galleries there too, don't they?
And the brushes can go right over here.
I've been to Sedona and Scottsdale and Phoenix and Flagstaff.
Wow. A lot of traveling.
Yeah, and Flagstaff has like it gets snowy in the winter.
Okay.
And also I've been to the Four Corners.
Oh, good for you. That's a nice place to be. I'd like to go there someday.
It's really fun because you can stand in all you're like in all 4 states at once.
Okay.
And then and I bought a carved squirrel there.
You did?
Mhm.
All right.
Made
So
out of a crystal called soapstone.
Okay. Okay. So is everybody wrapping up and finishing and be all ready for next week's class? Okay. So we're going to end the class and
There can be only one. Yeah, Highlander.
we're going to end the class and we will see everybody next week, okay? All right. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody.
Awesome work. So, homework-wise, kind of like we talked about.